All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome in. Welcome. All right. Good morning, guys. Oh, little echo there. Little echo, but we fixed it. We're good. Nice. We're good. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing? Yep, meta yesterday was nice. Yeah, spies sucked yesterday. I came out green. Not much green. It was a battle yesterday. It just was horrible, right? Title of the live stream this morning is continuation lacking, right? Our level was good, right? We spoke about our level 616. That was the level yesterday. I mean, if you long the level, you are okay, but you didn't get rich at all, right? It was just so many bounces off the level and very lackluster move, right? And then finally at 3 p.m., which I doubt many of you guys are who was trading at 3 p.m. I don't think many of you guys were trading at 3 p.m. That's when it makes the move, right? I mean, kind of scammy price action, right? This is the action you typically get during all-time highs, and we'll talk about it. Hopefully, we get some pullbacks, for some deeper pullbacks now. We can get some better moves. But this was the action yesterday, right? This is what we're dealing with right now. And it's not necessarily bad, right? Because levels are holding, right? What did we say yesterday pre-market? We said 616 was the major tactical level. That was the level that held, right? Now today's session, what are we watching? Again, 616 as your big level. 616 now is not a bounce level for me anymore, though. For me, I would want to see this continue, right? I want to see this above 618. We'll talk about that in a minute. But again, we were going to talk about this yesterday with the idea of market still holding demand, the same level we were talking about yesterday, 616. We're going to go over the ES chart. We'll talk about ES moving back to demand again, back to that same level, right? Back to that same low of yesterday's session, Monday's lows, 62.30. We are going to go over the Qs levels today. QQQ. We'll talk about Qs. It's really hard to sugarcoat the QQQ yesterday. I mean, this was pretty garbage, right? This was actually pretty bad price action. Look at this. I mean, just sideways all day. In demand, though, market held demand. Action was bad, but levels were holding. I guess that's the one argument you can make about yesterday's session. We're going to go over Tesla. Tesla downside. There is a lot of news on Tesla this morning, right? News on Tesla this morning. Some tweets, right? Some pretty feisty tweets coming out this morning that we're seeing, and we are aware of this, and we're going to talk about Tesla in this morning session. Welcome in, guys. First of all, welcome in Calvin, James the Builder. Welcome in, Sue. Where is everybody? Why is everybody sleeping in? It looks like I only have about 700 people here this morning. Where is everybody? Everybody's still sleeping in. Yeah, we'll go over Google too. We'll talk about Google. We'll add Google to the mix today. We're going to talk about Nvidia 153. That's your major level today, is 153 in Nvidia. We're also going to go over AMD. We'll talk about AMD failing under a major technical level this morning. We're going to talk about the ideas of supply above and demand below, right? We have some big levels to watch out for, so we're going to talk about that today, like where the levels are here on AMD's chart. We have a lot to go over this morning, guys. Everyone blew their accounts yesterday. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that in these type of ranges, you have to keep things tight, right? I don't think people are like blowing accounts in these ranges. I mean, like the losses that you will get if you do get a loss is going to be very small, right? Because the market's just doing nothing, right? This is nothing. But again, let's see what happens today. I mean, obviously we have some strong tickers. Like we had Apple that looks really strong this morning. So we'll go over Apple. We'll talk about that. It'll be a focal point of today's session. Anyway, let's dive into our econ data. Then we'll go into our earnings reports, which we have done. So we'll skip that, and we'll go into our tickers of today's stream. So today is Tuesday, July 1st. It is a new month. Right? Hopefully you guys finished off June with the right mindset. Yes, it was difficult price action, but now you're entering a new month. So let's hope for some good price action. That's it. That's all you can do. Today's session, Tuesday, July 1st, we have Jerome Powell speaking at 9:30 a.m. That's all we have today. It's really big. I mean, besides that, you have some 10 o'clock data, 9:45 PMI and 10 o'clock data. But the big thing today, the focal point of today's session is Powell is speaking at the ECB, right? That's going to cause some market volatility. Okay, so Powell this morning 9:30, PMI 9:45. And then some routine data at 10 o'clock. I mean, it actually is pretty big data. At 10 o'clock, you have JOLTS, construction spending, and ISM. Be aware of that going into our session ahead of us. After 10 o'clock, it's smooth sailing until tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session, you have more data. But today's session, it's really just about what happens after 10 o'clock. Because everything before 10 o'clock is big and crazy economic data. So, we have how many people here? We have almost 1,000 people here pre-market. I spoke about doing a giveaway yesterday, and I told you guys I would give away everything that I made in the month of June from YouTube, not from trading, from YouTube. Okay, if it was a trading giveaway, it would be much. I don't know if my account will let me do that. But for our YouTube analytics, I'm going to show my YouTube analytics in a second. You guys are going to be very surprised about how little it is. What I want to do, put a guess in the chat. How much do you guys think I made in the month of June? It's a lot less than I thought. How much do you guys think I made in the month of June? I will do more of these. Maybe we'll give away all of July's earnings. We'll give away all of August's earnings. How much do you guys think I made in the month of June? You guys are actually not far off. All right, so all over the place. But for the month of June, I made $360. And for people who don't believe me, because you can do all sorts of editing things, you can see what I'm searching for. I'm looking at brownie recipes, but let's skip that. Let's refresh this, and you can see the month of June, I made $360. So I will give away $400 for this giveaway. In May, I made $612. In April, I made $691. Okay, so I'm gonna give away everything I made for June, and we're gonna do everything I give away in July as well, and potentially even August. So the next 3 months of earnings on YouTube, I'll be giving back to you guys. That's my little that's what I want to do. And the thing is, I actually will make more from ad revenue on these videos than I do from anything else. So this is going to be a little bit of a giveaway I give back to you guys. I know it's not much, but what I'm thinking is I'll give $100 to 4 people on July 4th. So come to the live stream on Wednesday, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. And for everyone that is here, I'll pick 4 people, and on July 4th, I'll send you guys $100 each. Okay, so on SPY chart, let's dive into it. So SPY, let's move away from that. Let's talk about our actual charts today. Yesterday's session, we spoke in detail about one level in particular. It was about 616 on SPY. This was the big technical level, right? 616 was the major level of demand. We basically pulled back to demand yesterday, which was again that Friday level turning into support on Monday's session. We retraced off demand multiple times off 616, and I mean, if you got caught in the chop yesterday, it was probably a pretty horrific day, right? If you long demand and you got in at demand, you made 5%, 10%, 12%, bam, stopped out, right? And you tried it again. Let's just say you went long again off demand, went long again over here. You're up 5%, 10%, 12%, bam, stopped out. All you were getting yesterday's session was about 10% gains across the board. Nothing was really moving too much on the SPY chart, right? And that was my day yesterday. I think I ended up making a very small amount going into my my Monday session. And this was unfortunately not what I was hoping we get better action, right? Because you can see how many times we based off support off of our 616 level, but just lackluster continuation. We could not get above these highs, right? We just kept getting smacked off the same area around 617. And then finally, around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you saw us do the most classic break and reclaim upside move. And this was something we discussed going into our Monday morning pre-market. we talked about the idea of how the market's going to be trading recently. Remember we said you have your normal uptrend where market does this and we love it and everyone's happy. But we said that the market that we're in right now, it may throw some monkey wrenches. And the monkey wrenches are going to look like this, right? Uptrend, it broke uptrend, and that's your long entry upside continuation, right? So yesterday's session, the best possible long entries were actually when the market was failing under 616. When you saw us fail under 616 and we reclaimed the 616 level, it is at that moment where the best long entries came in. And I'm not telling you guys to ever long below support, right? So if I have a support level right here, I'm not telling you to long when it's there. I'm saying when you see us reclaim and see these upside reversion plays come in, when the market ends up showing itself, it's defending that level, that's your long entry for continuation moves higher. So the best possible long entry yesterday came in at 3 o'clock, and I doubt many of you guys are trading it. Again, this was a very, very end of day late move, which was kind of rude to see. But the levels maintained yesterday. So even though it was a difficult price action session, our levels maintained. And that was an important idea yesterday's session, is our levels maintained. And going into today's session, where are the levels that have importance? Well, the first level is still the same thing as it was yesterday. It was the same 616 level, right? So what you don't want to do today is you don't want to come in today's session and say, I think we're going lower, I want to short right now, and I want to look for this. Because again, this could happen, but we could easily see, again, another reversion play off of our demand from yesterday's session and the demand from Friday's highs, and we just do this yet again, right? And we're stuck in the same range that we were for the past day, right, which is yesterday's session into today, and this would be the range I do not really want to be involved in, right? This darker gray zone is a range I don't want to be involved in right now. I would want to see us either breaking and holding underneath this previous day low, right, for a downside move, which would be a break and retest downside play, in which case we can target 613 back into our previous all-time highs, or I would want to see us build above 618. A build above 618, the pre-market highs from our Monday session and the close price of our Monday session, I can look for this to happen and an upside trade back into 620. So for me to trade this session in front of us, I want to see either the bear case scenario under support or the bull case scenario above resistance. That's all I want to do today. I don't really want to be getting involved in trading the price action within yesterday's zone, because yesterday's zone was absolutely horrific. So today's session, if you're watching anything, look to see can we clear above these highs or clear below these lows, and that's where we can trade it, and that's where we get the big continuation moves higher or lower. So that, to me, is my main watch going forward on SPY's chart. On the ES chart, on ES, wow, Gunny, oh my God, that's insane. Gunny trades, that is awesome. Absolutely humongous Gunny trades. That is insane. Yeah, okay, we'll double up the giveaway. That is crazy. Everybody give Gunny Trades a shout out, a thank you. Gunny, what's your Instagram, man? I know he's got a big Instagram now as well. He's also a big trader on Instagram too. So everyone give Gunny a follow on Instagram. He's an absolute killer trader. That is awesome and that is incredible. Yes, we're gonna double up the giveaway now. So we're gonna be giving away $800 on July 4th. That is absolutely awesome. Gunny Trades, incredible. What a gentleman move. Absolute gentleman. Very, very nice. So cool. And DJ Priceless, thank you very much too. Awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. DJ Priceless as well. Very, very nice. No followers yet. Gunny, that's okay. You'll get your followers up. We'll give you a shout out on July 4th too. That's what I'll do. I'll give you a shout out on July 4th. That is awesome. Very much appreciated, both DJ Priceless and Gunny. I'm speechless. That is incredible. That is so kind. All right, so on the ES chart, right, the levels are very much so the same as SPY, right? We have the resistance above us at 62.54, which is where we have our level on SPY. Remember we said the SPY 618 level? SPY 618, right? SPY 618 is that pre-market high from Monday's session. If you're looking for continuation trades today on ES, you really want to see us above that 62.55. If we can clear 62.55, we can look for upside plays back into highs, back into 62.70, which is our big major supply. And we can also look for downside under 62.31, which would be our yesterday's low price, right? For a target move back down to 6,200. So today's session, for me, it's It's let's wait for this shit range to break. Anything in this area over here is the DZ, is the dead zone, right? Don't trade the dead zone between the highs and the lows of yesterday's session. If you got chopped around yesterday in the mud, right? Because trust me, I was getting chopped around the mud too. You guys probably saw me on live trading. I took one little win and then I took one little loss yesterday, trading in the same range from yesterday's session. I don't want to be doing that again today. I want to be looking for either this or I want to be looking for this today, and that's what's going to get us either the higher or lower push. Now, let's not misconstrue this market right now. The market's not bearish yet. It's still very much so bullish, and we're still holding support, holding support, holding support. Let's understand that and remain unbiased going into our session in front of us. Okay, so moving on. Let's go over the QQQ chart. So QQQ chart yesterday was all about 550. Remember I said yesterday's session 550 was the big level of support. That's what we had to hold for upside, and we did. We held it, right? Market maintained 550. That was that big technical level. You can see 550, 550, 550, 550. But again, what did the market lack yesterday? It lacked continuation, right? It could not continue. It could not build higher, and it failed. End of day, 3 p.m. We got a little bit of some continuation, but we have now failed back below. Here's the issue with Qs. So on the SPY chart, you are very clearly seeing the SPY is over our levels, right? SPY is over 616. Is over support, is maintaining support very well. This is what you want to see today, maintaining support on SPY. But on the QQQ chart, we are well below our level, right? We are maintaining above demand. Maintaining above demand. 616 support, right? We're maintaining above support. On the QQQ chart, the levels are the same as yesterday's session, but the problem is that we are turning 550 into potentially resistance this morning. And for a bull case scenario, you need to see us back above 550. As of right now, this here on the QQQ is bearish, right? Why is it bearish? Because we are beginning to turn the support from our previous day session into resistance right now pre-market. So for us to get bullish continuation, we need to see us continue back above 550. Back above 550, upside back into 552. So watching that today is if we can get back above 550, that's the bull case scenario, and that would give us more conviction on SPY going higher. But as of right now, we are under 550, we are under support, and at this point, if we can't get above 550 and we see a little bit of this type of action today, right, then I would expect us to go back down to 546. So we must watch QQQ today as a main watch. Is it above 550? Bullish? Is it below 550? Bearish? Right now, you're seeing a discrepant SPY in QQQ, which is always an interesting morning because again, when you have SPY and Qs not lining up perfectly, it can create some problems, and we'll have we will actually, that could give us even a better trade today. If we see, for example, we want to go long SPY, we'll wait for QQQ to clear above 550, then long SPY, because that's where you get the SPY long trade, right? So again, let's see what happens today in Qs, but it's all about 550 on this Tuesday morning session. Okay. So moving on. We are going to go over our charts of today's session. We're going to start off with the main chart of today, Apple. This is a beautiful chart. Remember we said this, right? We said that these compressed moves will eventually result in continuation. And finally, Apple has given us the continuation after the compressed move. We saw compression for multiple days in a row. Compression. And when a stock maintains compression like this for a long period of time, what is it doing? It's developing buy interest here at the lows, buy interest here at the lows, buy interest here at the lows. It's also developing short interest here at the highs, short interest here at the highs, short interest here at the highs, and again and again. And what that eventually does is when you see us clear above the highs or the lows, you're going to get a pretty aggressive upside or downside move because you are surprising all the shorts, which have to then close their positions, buying back shares, causing upside continuation. That is squeeze 101, right? This is a horrible drawing here. You guys are probably making fun of me. I know you guys are probably making fun of me. I'm not even reading the chat, but I know you guys are making fun of me. But again, this is what it is, right? That's squeeze 101, right? This was squeeze 101. It could have easily been It could have easily been capitulation 101, right? If we failed under 200, it could have been capitulation 101. Either way, right? It was 50-50, right? It was 50-50, but it chose the upside play, okay? Today's session, what can we do on this chart now? Very simply, we do this. We look for demand back at our demand bounce, 204, 205, okay? That's scenario number one, 204, 205 demand bounce. Or we say, you know what? We have resistance here at 207.5. We can look for a break and retest upside trade above 207.5. This chart's not over yet, right? I would be very surprised if we see one day of beautiful squeeze upside here on Apple and then just right back down lower, right? I mean, technically that's what happened here from May 28th to May 29th, right? But this is such a compressed move now where if we clear 207.50, I would expect this to move back into 214, right? So my main watch today's session here on the market, one of them is Apple. This is one of my main watches today, is seeing, can Apple clear above 207.5? If it can, we are going to target this on a break and retest trade, upside move, back into 214. This could be a major watch today. Also watch 204, 205 for a demand bounce, watching that as also a secondary long entry today, okay? So demand bounce here and long entries above the highs. They said that they're in awe of Gunny. Yes, Gunny, you are an incredible man. That is one of the most generous things I've seen, and it makes me happy because I do this YouTube really not to make money from it. You guys know I'm not really doing anything here, right? We're gonna be giving away a lot more now. I think that's the idea. Is like, I think we'll definitely do all of July as well. So we'll tally it up for July and we'll play with it. And then we're also going to do maybe even all of August as well. And maybe we'll even do multipliers on it. Maybe I'll double it up or something. We'll make it fun. We'll make it fun because that's what this is all about, right? This is all about pre-market learning and also fun. So that's what this is going to be about. Anyway, so Apple chart 207.50. If it clears 207.50, look for highs here 2 and 4. This chart's not done yet, right? This chart should just be getting started. If you can clear 207.50, we can make a lot of money in this, right? Let's make money in this above 207.50 or pull back long here to demand. Okay, that's Apple. Moving on, Nvidia. So Nvidia yesterday's session was a lackluster move, and this could be why the market is not moving. The lackluster move is there because the Nvidia is not moving, right? Nvidia is not moving. Tesla is barely moving. Is actually selling off now pre-market. What must happen here in Nvidia? I think Nvidia must pull back to 153. There is no doubt in my mind that Nvidia pulls back this level at some point in time. There's no doubt. I don't know if it's going to be today. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be next week on Tuesday, right? But regardless, I would argue this must pull back to that 153 level of demand, and that's where I'm watching for long base entries. 153 here in Nvidia, looking for longs there if we pull back. If we fail under 153, we are selling, and we are selling back into 150. So again, the levels are very simple here on Nvidia. First, look for initial demand to step up here at 153. It is demand, and we must test it as demand for now. If we do this, let's just say you see a little bit of this happen, right? This could be what happens. This could be a very good scenario today. You watch 153 in Nvidia because this is the break and retest move here, right? And you see us bounce off of it a little bit, but it's a dead cat, right? It dead cats and you get a little bit of money, but then you get stop down runners, and it does that. Well, then this could very quickly turn from a beautiful demand bounce opportunity to now a break and retest failure play back under 150, right? So we could trade this both ways. First and foremost, we are looking for longs off our 153. If you fail 153, look for shorts back into 155 or 150. Okay, that's very simply what I'd be doing here on this chart here in Nvidia, watching for longs initially, but if we fail below it, looking for shorts. Very simply. Okay, AMD chart. On the AMD chart, we have broken 142. So I don't really have the same interest here on AMD longs, right? Because I think this is pretty weak right now. Pre-market, this is pretty weak. Remember yesterday we said look for puts under 142, either 142 breakdown for puts or above 148 for calls. Well, now that AMD is broken 142, I think we can either do this. This is what I'd be doing here at AMD. This is the only thing I'd be doing here going into this session, right? First of all, we have support here at 138. There is support here 138. It is a level. We have to see how we respond to this level. But for now, my main watches are going to be either this. 142, failure. rejection plays in supply. 142, looking for supply rejections off of our Monday's lows. Or we could look for this to continue to sell off today and look for a demand bounce here at 133. This could be both long or short. Again, AMD is a bilateral setup. I'm watching for either longs back at demand, which will make me money, or I'm watching for shorts back at resistance, which should also make us money. So watching 142 rejections today. Why? Because this is a big resistance. But I also could even watch support a demand plays here, long base entries back at demand. Why? Because if you zoom out for a second, this is the area that AMD eventually has to test. Eventually, at some point in time, AMD is going to pull back to this level here, right? And you can see why. We see a beautiful level, a beautiful level, a beautiful level, a beautiful level of resistance turning into support about a week ago, right? We double topped off of our level, we ripped higher off of it. But notice something. Notice that we never pulled back this demand yet, right? We have simply not pulled back this demand zone yet. So what we could be watching for today's session is watch for a long base entry at demand here. 133 demand base entry looking for longs. That's all I'm doing here at AMD, or looking for supply back at 142. Again, this would be a really nice watch today's session, 133 demand bounce, okay? Moving on. I'm moving on. Let's people said, am I worried about anyone worried about the window dressing? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What is the window dressing? What is a window dressing? So Apple. No, we already did Apple. Google. On the Google chart, 176 is your big level. 176, big technical level of resistance. We must clear that today. I mean, yesterday we basically just gave it back, right? We saw some big upside into our Monday session. We failed lower back into 176. That was our big demand, and now we're back on our demand. I know that this is still a strong chart, but after yesterday's session, I don't really have much interest in Google unless it's above 176. This must clear 176. If it can clear 176, look for upside trades back in the highs. But as of right now, I think we should stay away from it, right? Because 176 is a big failure point. You can see demand, and we have turned it into a resistance this morning here at 176. Be careful here. This must clear 176 for long base entries, right? Moving on. I want to go over Tesla. Tesla is a big one this morning. So what's happening here on Tesla? There's a lot of news, right? I'm sure you guys are seeing headlines all over the place, right? There was headlines on Trump potentially deporting Elon Musk, right? He said he was going to explore the idea of deporting Elon Musk, and he's just saying stuff. I don't think that it ever would actually amount to anything. But the feud is still very much so alive, right? And that's what's causing this downside. I mean, it's really not the feud that's causing the downside. It's the fact that he's saying that Doge should investigate the subsidies given to EV, particularly given to Tesla. And that has caused downside, right? So besides all of the banter on X and Truth, whatever that platform's called, it's not really about the banter. It's about the fact that they may be getting their subsidies pulled, right? Their EV subsidies or their electric vehicle subsidies that they receive are being investigated, and that could potentially change the demand for EV, right? EV for Tesla. So that's caused downside in the market, okay? And beyond all of that, what this has done is it has failed us below a very big technical level of resistance. The level of resistance that we failed below was 313, okay? We failed below 313. Now today's session, if I'm watching for trades now, I'll be looking to see, can we turn this daily 200 SMA and 313 level into resistance? Very simply, right? If we can pop into 313 today, this is your best possible short opportunity for a downside play. Watching for 313 shorts. Why? Because you have a low formed here, lows formed here, lows formed here, and the daily 200 SMA is sitting right above us, all lining up at 313. Yesterday, we spoke about this being a breakdown setup, but we said let's not get too tangled up in spaghetti. The reason why we said that was because if this failed under 320, we could see downside. But to be honest with you, if you tried trading this downside move yesterday, you probably didn't make any money. Unfortunately, you probably didn't, or maybe you did if you had really good entries. The ones that really made money this morning are the ones that swung Tesla shorts. If you swung Tesla shorts, you made money. But if you didn't swing Tesla shorts, what we must be watching is a pop and fade move back into our, I would even argue 310, right? You can see 310 as our first level here. 310 all the way, 310, why did I just delete that? 310 all the way to that, you can see 310, right? Which is our yesterday's after hours level, 310, all the way to our supply, which is 313. So I would watch this whole band today, right? Can we pop up into this demand today? And do we see confirmation of shorts here? If we do, that's my entry for shorts, right? I would look for this area right over here, right in front of us for short-based entries, and you guys know exactly why. We have supply, we have supply, we have supply, we have supply. We are underneath that supply now with a big gap down. We should be looking for shorts back in supply. That's it. That's all I'm looking for today's session. Where is there demand below? Tesla has always been one that has been resilient, right, against things that negatively impact it. That being said, this is pretty bad news if this actually amounts to anything. We do have demand below us at 295, so we can't really short back into 295 either. This is very interesting because you have big demand below us, 295, 295, 295, 295. And you also have big supply above us at 310 to 313. So big supply above, big demand below. I think at this point, if you're looking for anything today, look to see if you can get a little bit of reaction to longs off 295 initially. If you break 295, this is capitulation. We fell lower very aggressively back into 272. So again, don't be short back into 295, but if you do see us fail below 295, capitulation, right? We will go back into 270 here in Tesla. That's what's going to happen here, right? If you fail below 295, capitulation move, and we likely go back to 270s, okay? That's what we have here on Tesla's chart. And this is a very interesting chart to watch this Tuesday morning, okay? So, moving on. Let's move on, PLTR. On the PLTR chart, 140 was your level yesterday's session. You didn't really tap it, didn't really do anything yesterday, didn't really present any opportunities. Today's session, if you're watching anything, look for either a 125 demand bounce, 125, 126, or look for 140 failures for shorts. That's it. Shorts here, longs there. That's all I have here in PLTR. Okay, AVGO chart, AVGO, AVGO, Broadcom. A little Broadcom action. So Broadcom, for me, in my opinion, at some point, at some moment, right, this must pull back to my 265 level. I don't know when it's going to happen, but if it does happen, this is a gift. This is a gift for us all to trade. Let's watch this. This is what I'm doing here in AVGO. I don't trade AVGO very often, but if this does happen, I'm trading it right here at the previous all-time highs. 265 on the break and retest type move here at 265. Obviously, right, if it clears above 278, this is going to go higher and do a new PDM move. But as of right now, look for either this or look for either this. Those are the two things I'd be watching for on AVGO's chart. Okay, so moving on. Let's go over one more ticker to finish off the stream. Let's do Meta. On the Meta chart, Meta is all about 735. I mean, that was the level yesterday. Wow, Meta 735 was beautiful. Well, this was actually beautiful. Remember, we said watch two potential trades yesterday. I mean, this is what I was saying yesterday, is the fact that even though the market was choppy, we did respect levels, right? 740 was respected. You saw 740 turn into support yesterday, rip higher off of reclaiming it. Classic liquidity grab below, reclaim, ripper, right? That's what happened yesterday, right? Again, these things are happening again and again in this market. You have to see it, right? Reclaim, breakdown, reclaim, upside, right? And then you also saw 735 tap as support yesterday. That was a big demand below. Now, what can we do on Meta today? I think we could trade this again today. What can we do? Look for reclaims above 740. If it reclaims 740, trade it upside back in the highs. I would watch that today. I'll keep this on the main watch, right? Look for upside above 740. Guys, thank you all for joining in. I'm going to end it here. I know you guys want hood, so I'll show you the chart, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to leave it here. And I'll see you guys all for live trading. Have a happy and safe trading day. And thank you again to the two big donators, DJ Priceless and Gunny Trades. You guys are awesome. That's going right to the giveaway with you guys on July 4th. Much appreciated. I'll see you guys all for live trading. Bye, guys.